All right. So let's get right into the build here. So for the past few days, we've been building out our own digital marketplace SaaS. Definitely been a fun project. Of course, I've been using AI to help, not just help me build, but really to help me build and learn. Okay, so we've been learning and building simultaneously. And so day one, we actually did this first fundamental section, which was really just setting up the basics or the actual overall structure of the project. Okay, so we set up our node project here with Express, and we took that data, built out our database with the SQL database here. I'll actually get that set up here. And then we actually built a few routes, our test connections. Then yesterday we actually did our authentication, which was definitely fun. We've been kind of learning and building upon different things as we're learning them. Okay, so as I learn them, I'm actually implementing. So I've implemented a few different things. We're using classes here to actually create our shops, shop templates, and our dashboard. So this has definitely been a fun project here so far. It's definitely teaching me a lot. Definitely been fun, man. So we have our sessions here we set up as well, user role. And so now what we're going to do, we actually did create our basic shop, which has the full CRUD operations and the dashboard here, shop settings, and the actual dynamic shop routes. So that's definitely been fun here. Been using params with that, so I learned about the params inside of Node, or into our server actually, I should say. Okay, so it's been a crazy ride here, but so far this is what we have, and I'm using AI again. As I've mentioned, I'm using Claude to help not just code and build this thing out, but to literally teach me how to code. So I was going through a bunch of different tutorials, you know, of course, learning the basics, but then I was tired of just doing the basics, right? I wanted to jump right into the deep end and start building something that I found useful and something else that could be useful to others. Okay, so we've built a few SaaSes already, but this SaaS, this has been a very fun project here. As you see, we have our server file here, so we're going to keep continuing here. I'm going to show you exactly what we've built here so far. So just to get a rundown here, let's actually run what we have here. And today I'm going to be focusing on more of the front end. Okay, so we've pretty much built out the back end. We've built out our database and everything. Let me actually start that up here. And it's been fun, man. This has really been fun, but I'm actually seeing how all the pieces are connected, right? Seeing how everything connects and how everything works. All right, let's see what's going on here. All right, there we go. So we want to pull up our SQL. So of course there are two different types of databases, mainly your SQL and then you have your NoSQL, right? Relational or non-relational. And it really comes down to how you're using it, what you're needing, things like that. How you're needing your tables set up, or if you even need tables, right? So with SQL, it's more of structured tables, kind of how things are pre-set out. My understanding of NoSQL is basically if you're, it says really like if you're doing like chats and things like that, or say for instance Facebook, is different things that may or may not be added. So it's kind of more dynamic. Basically, it kind of lets you give more control, basically, right? You're not so locked into a box. So with this specific database here, yesterday we actually set up the shops and user authentication, which was really fun. So we had added a few different stores here, right? A few display names here, and then those are actually logged into each user, right? So each user will be able to actually create their account, right? And then we actually hash the passwords, of course. Just a recap of what we've done so far. So never save passwords directly into your database. Okay, that's a big no-no, right? So you always want to hash them out, and they are hashed, encrypted, basically. So if you ever have a breach, right, hackers don't have any information, right? They just have a hashed password, right? All right, so we have our database here. We'll come back there if we need, but right now let's get our server up and running here just to take an overview here of everything. All right, so our main thing that we'll be adding as well, we're gonna add the main home page. That's something that I'll be adding here shortly. That'll be one of the main things we work on. But we have our dashboard. Everything is sessions and protected, basically. That was another thing that we set up yesterday with the authentication. So you have to have an account to even view the dashboard, right? And let's see here. See if I have one of the stores here, one of the shops here. Now for the shops you don't, right? And why is that? Because the shops will be used to purchase things, right? So anybody can view your shop, right? That's the way you want to have it, right? Or that's the way we've set it up. So we have it there. Then I'll take you through the actual dashboard and then the actual logins, right? So we did set up these two forms here, and then as users come in to sign up, they'll be able to either buy products, right? Create a user account to buy products, or they could create the account to sell products. So in this case, we are going to go with selling products just to give you an overview here. Tom Doe, and we'll have this test 2 add example, and here password, of course, like I mentioned, is saved as the hashed. All right, so I already had that email here. And I'll do test 3. Now each account will be able to have multiple shops as well. So I'll show you that as well before we really get into the build here. All right. I already made a test 3. Jeez, I made too many already. I was testing out so much yesterday, and I was pretty excited that everything was coming together, man. That's the big thing. And you can use AI, like I mentioned, to create all of this, right? All right, so the email here, I'm gonna do test 4. And here. So everything is coming together nicely. So the way I'm seeing it here, I'm thinking to have users, they'll be able to come in, like I mentioned, to either purchase products, so you can sign up there as an account holder, or to sell products. All right, so there you go. Now you see the way the flow is going to be working. So they'll be able to come in, create their own shop, right? Comes right into their dashboard. It'll show their monthly revenue, and then they'll be able to actually start either browsing the marketplace, of course, and they can create their first shop, right? So these are the main things here. All right, and then so they'll come in, create a shop, and then I'll show how everything is actually being logged. Digital store. Tom has the best digital products around. All right. And so basically they'll be able to create their own different shop description, create a shop, and there you go, right? And the best part here, so we have this dynamically being created. They'll have their own dynamic link, right? So you'll have your own link, right? Also, you'll have your store name here, of course, description, and then they'll be able to list their products. You'll see their different products. They can edit everything. This is basically their dashboard, right? So then, say if you come back here, well, that'll be the actual shop, right? So then when time actually comes to his dashboard, he can see how many shops he has. He could edit the shop, right? And create more shops. So what we'll be working on today, I'm gonna build out the front end, and then we'll start going more into depth on pricing, adding that in. But everything now, like I mentioned, it is getting logged into the database, right? So if you come here, I have it all getting set up here into our database. You'll see the users here. We have Tom's new user account, so I could see that. And then you'll be able to see that we have Tom's shop here, right here. So that means our API connections is successfully connected. That's perfect. All right, so let's get right into the next portion here. I'm gonna build out the front end, the front page, basically, and get everything up and running here. All right, so let's take a look here. All right, there we go. So the home page here, what I'm thinking, I'm gonna do a home page route, but since the home page, the way it's set up here, it's actually giving me a home page template, but I wouldn't need it to be a template. It'll be more of a static page here. There we go. You can delete this file since we're generating a home page dynamically. Okay. So we may want to use it dynamically, right? Because once they actually are logged in, right, the home page will be different. All right, let me actually check that out here. Be like a static page, but let's see here. And like I mentioned, I'm using Claude, right, to help me learn and build, right? So it's teaching me the fundamentals. It's literally teaching me why I'm doing certain things, and that's the best part about this all. So let me see here, static page here. All right, but best do dynamic and as a template, because and they will see a customized sort of home page. So what I'm doing now, we're going to build the home page. The home page is going to be very key, right? It's going to have the navigations. We're going to set up the navigations, pricing as well. I'm thinking about I'll do that later here, once we really start to research more into the market. Let's take a look here. All right, what I'm thinking is that the dynamic page is actually going to be more beneficial, right? It's going to give us a seamless user experience, Not gonna have to be having different redirects and things like that. It's gonna be feeling like a more of a modern app. Okay. All right. So what I did, I actually just asked Claude, why am I doing it as far as the home page? Why set it up dynamically versus a static page, right? And it's mentioning that it's really the user experience, right? The user experience. So when a customer is logged in, they'll likely want to browse shop, not see marketing copy and things like that that they've already converted on, right? So that home page will be dynamically changed basically once a user is logged in. Even it'll maybe even have their own name and things like that. So that's where I'm thinking of setting it up. Also, it's going to be role based with the navigation. So shop owners need to quick access back to the dashboard, while the customers, they're going to want to browse more, right? So that's even better. Okay, yeah, that's definitely even better. You're already using dynamic templates everywhere else, so it's okay. Consistent, unlike a pure SaaS tool where users go straight to their workshop marketplace benefits. Okay, showcasing content even to logged in users. Okay. Okay, so and most likely it's going to tell me the dynamic routes, which really that's what I'm seeing as well, the dynamic route. So we're going to actually start building that out. So I'm going to actually start to build out the server here to include this dynamic route to our whole home page. I'll show you the home page here as well. Right now it's not pretty at all, but styling is the best part, right? So right now that's the dashboard, but this is the home page, right? So I'm going to change this all around. It'll be definitely different styled, and we'll start laying everything out. All right, so let me actually do it this way. Okay, all right, so we already have our server started. All right, so let's start building it out. Let's get right into it here. So this will be the home page here. All right. Home page, and then here. And this time I'll actually try to focus on not making so many typos, because like I mentioned, one typo, one missed letter, one missed period, things like that, they will literally collapse and crash your entire application, which is crazy, which is good though. I've learned a lot just from going back and looking at my typos. Alright, so we're gonna have home page here, and we'll set this template up here shortly. Here we go. Okay, there we go. So we have the home page there. Okay. So what I actually want to do, so what I'm doing now, I'm creating the route, right? So we have the home page route here. This is it here at the moment, right? So now we're going to update this route here. It's no longer going to be the basic route. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to comment this entire route out. And I like to keep them just so I can see where I've been basically, and kind of see where I've progressed it. Alright, so now let's go ahead and build this route out here. There we go. I'm going to comment that. I'll put this new route down here. Alright. And this will be importing the home page. Import the home page. I'll save it. So right now, of course, nothing is being found. That's why it's collapsing there. There is no home page template. All right, so I'm gonna create that here shortly. But first, let's create the route. Alright, so I'm gonna do app.get, and the route will be our home page now. And from there, we'll create our request and our response here. Then our arrow function. Alright. From here, we're just gonna create a few different variables here. And what this will do, this will be checking if user is logged in, right? So I'll have it displaying certain things, whether if they're logged in or if they're not. And that'll give me some customizable experiences for them. All about user experience, right? Alright, so from here, let's create the first variable, which will be if they're logged in here. Is logged in. And if they're not logged in. So basically here, it'll be an if. There we go. Session.user ID. And user role. Session.user role here. And then we'll do a username. Alright. Our session.username. Alright. And then from there, now that we have our variables there, I want to generate the actual page now. So here, we're going to generate the home page with user content, or with the context of the user, basically. Alright, and we'll create another variable here, home page URL, HTML page there, perfect. Generate home page, there we go. And then here, we're going to pull those variables in here. Alright, logged in. We're going to go with the user role as well. And then lastly, the username. Alright. Now from there, once we get all of that, what we want to do is actually send the actual home page, right? So we're gonna go here, and we're gonna go home page HTML. Okay, there we go. And hopefully I don't have any typos. Those typos, man, those be a booger. I'll be typing so fast sometimes, and it messes me all up. All right, so now what we're gonna do? We're gonna do thinking of doing like a, let me see, a placeholder route actually for now. All right, for browsing shops, and we'll definitely come back to that. So we'll build this next. All right, so here, just for now, this will be a placeholder. And like I mentioned, I'm using AI to code and build, but also to learn. So the way I've prompted Claude, I've actually prompted it to not just give me the code but to actually make me think about the architectural build of the whole app, right? And also teach me these different concepts as we are going along. It's been literally the best teacher ever. It's literally the best teacher ever, right? If you have not started coding, there's no point of you waiting. You don't have to start with anything complex. I started with literally one simple landing page, literally. But what that taught me is that it started to show me what the hell was possible, right? once I start seeing like, wait a minute, man, I don't need to buy all of these different tools. I don't need to pay an arm and a leg for a page builder and things like that. I started to realize something very, very important, right? And this is just gonna keep growing. That's the big thing. The big thing is that AI is not going anywhere. All right, it's literally only going to become more and more influential, right? It's literally giving people opportunities that they did not previously have, right? That's the way I look at it, right? I got my mom, she's using AI now. She called me the other day with some AI stuff. She's literally talking to it and everything like it's one of her best friends, and it's and it's funny because it's like, man, wait a minute, man. How can, you know, somebody that's not even technically savvy, right, start to see the benefit, right? And they do, right? They start to see the benefit so quickly. So quickly. My nephew's also, he started to code. I'm like, man, this is amazing. This is amazing, literally. So you could do this as well. Alright, so what I'm doing here, we're just building out the route. I'm building out a simple test route here for the browse section. We built out the route for the actual home page, and then we'll actually import that home page. Alright, and so here I'm gonna just put we're building the shop browsing. Experience. Alright, and then here I'm gonna have shop listing coming soon. Alright, coming soon. Alright, so we have that portion there. Let's make sure everything is right. Don't have any errors, so that's perfect there. Okay, I got that there, and then let me add this lastly. Let's save. Okay, so the server's still crashing. Why is it crashing? It's because I don't have this actual page yet. So let's go into our templates. Let's actually create that. I'm going to our views folder, our templates, and then we will actually create that home page template page. .js. Okay. So now with this home page, let's go ahead and get that here. I already have that built. Let's just go ahead and paste that in. There we go. And now that route should work here. Look at that. Look at that now. Okay. And then of course, like with this styling, I haven't given it any kind of customized styling. But right now, this is definitely workable, right? That definitely works, right? Browse shop routes. Let me make sure here. Let's see what's going on here. I may have not put that correctly here, I believe. So as you can see, the shop is definitely coming along though, right? And then here, okay, now you start to see now, so things are actually coming together now. So what we're building, a digital marketplace for digital creators, right? They can come on here, create shops, and sell products, right? Which is an amazing, that's brilliant. Everything is coming together. So we have our get started here. Everything is literally syncing up now, right? It's nearly pretty much ready to start going live in a moment. Once I create pricing and things like that, which I'll definitely do. Okay, we'll start putting our pricing and things like that in there. I'll hook that into the Stripe, and then I'll be able to give also shop owners abilities to start using Stripe as well, right? All right, so right now everything looks good there. Start selling in 3 simple ways. I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. Everything is looking good. Let's make sure our logins are working here as well. I'm gonna go with the test. Let's go with the test 4 count here. and this is going to be pulling from our database. Everything is literally coming together. All right. So now the shop owners, they'll be able to log into their account, their own account. Soon they'll be able to edit their own shop. They have their links here, which is being dynamically generated as well. They'll have this is basically their analytics page, right? They'll be able to look at their revenue that they have, create new shops, right? Definitely coming along. And there you go. Now you see that it's dynamically creating using that template. So now that Tom basically is logged in, he can come here into his dashboard. He'll be able to actually check out his actual shop, create a new shop, things like that as well. I mean, this is really, really brilliant. And again, let's make sure everything is logging into our database here. And the crazy thing about it, the styling part is the part that I used to literally concern myself the most with, right? Like right now, even this is just generic kind of styling, really. It still looks great, but I have not given it any kind of customized ideals and things like that. But it's still great. I mean, it's definitely useful, but the most important part is the back end, right? So what we did, we spent the first few days building out the back end, the databases, things like that, and then connecting them, building out our routes here. So let me take a look here. Everything looks good. This is the part that's not pulling right here. The browse shops here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, everything's there. It's looking good there. Let me take a look here. So now it's saying cannot get. Let me see here. And it could be one typo. And I already see the typo. Typos will teach you. If you just go in. I've learned so much just from my typos, literally, right? My typos have taught me how to kind of go in here and start to look at the code, see exactly what I'm looking for, things like that. And it's all using AI, right? So I'm using AI to literally teach me how to code while coding something that I actually want to code, right? Which is definitely useful, right? All right, so let's fix this route here. All right, we're gonna save that again, and now this should work here. There we go. All right. So now let me come back here. Let's just go back through the user experience. We have our login pages here, our different forms, sign in forms. They'll be able to come in, create an account. Okay, start selling a day, and then they'll be able to explore all of the different shops, right? That'll be wonderful for users, for different customers. All right, so basically you're building a digital marketplace, right? Where every digital creator, right, will be able to come in, create their own digital product, and literally start selling your product, and you'll have your own dashboard. Just go back through here, and I like the ideal. I really like the ideal that everything is coming together, right? That's when you start to realize that you can actually build anything, right? That's the fun part. You start to see your ideals, and it doesn't even have to be your ideal. That's the another thing, right? I literally would damn near go crazy trying to come up with the next idea. What can I build, right? Just build anything. All right, so we see everything here is working perfectly, man. I mean, everything from the back end as far as our database. And there we go. We got a beautiful, wonderful ad from our music.
With professional grade industrial
Let
supplies
that
and
pass
fast delivery.
here.
Call clickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
I know exactly here. There we go. All right, so let's start to continue here. So we have that. It's really coming along. So what I'm gonna actually do here, I've updated the server page. That's perfect here. I've updated the home template here. We have our dynamic routes. I'm gonna start doing product management, but what I'm really thinking is the pricing, right? I want to start adding some pricing and stuff to it. so what I'm gonna do here, which is not reflected anywhere yet. Let me take a look here. Over $100 a month. So what I'm thinking about is charging like a $49 a month or something like that. Let me see exactly what'll be the best model. Yeah, the pricing model, that's what I'm actual let me see here. Want to make it so I'm thinking like a Shopify type of thing, but solely for digital products, right? So with pricing boxes or whatever, so I'm thinking like a and they pay per shop, or a like for an unlimited shops. I'm not sure. I'm gonna see how I'm gonna do that. Right now, the way I was thinking about building it out was like a per shop type of thing, where they could come in here. They could come in here and build a shop, and then once they want to open a new shop, right, they could just come in here, hit there, and then it'll prompt them basically to create and purchase a new shop. Alright, so far what we've got here, let me log out. So everything is reflected perfectly though. Everything, I mean, this is really, it's pretty much almost functional, honestly. A few more days, really, this thing will be really functioning. And it's literally all using AI. AI has been teaching me pretty much. And the reason, I'm gonna tell you this, the reason I started to even get in the code was literally just to prompt better, right? So I started seeing that I could build my own landing pages. Like, you could do so much more than a actual website builder, right? You can do literally, you have sky's the limit, right? Sky's is the limit literally on what you could build, right? If you know how to prompt. If you could prompt it, you could build it, right? So I started to say, man, what does this do? What is this, right? So like JavaScript, for instance, start getting into JavaScript, the functionality of the website, dynamically changing things. And then I said, damn, I could actually just prompt the actual AI to build it, right? Literally, you could prompt the AI to build that bad boy out. So that's what I've been doing, and it's been teaching me everything, literally. And I've built this entire SaaS so far from scratch using AI, from front end to back end, using Node. I have APIs set up. I mean, it's ridiculous, literally, what you could do, right? Really, it really is. It's literally skies is the limit. So, what I'm gonna do here, let's take a look here. All right. Okay. Let me redesign the home page. Okay, with a professional pricing section. Okay, that's perfect. So we want to add the pricing section. All right. So I'm gonna do a per shop model right now. Okay, and we're gonna do a tiered plan. Okay, I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna have a monthly and a yearly. Okay, and you'll need different feature levels to justify the actual pricing tiers. Okay. All right, so now, so we got the section here. Let me see exactly here. Alright, so looks like what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to actually change up the database. Alright. Okay. Okay, so it's giving me the entire database schema to pretty much set it up for pricing. Alright. I might just go ahead and fully do this thing here, really to set it up. Alright. Let me take a look here. Pricing information here, updated shop creation flow. Okay, let's see how that's added. Alright, so far this is what we have so far. Alright, so that's perfect. Everything's coming together nice. And also, if you like this type of content, if you're interested in coding, especially using AI tools, definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel. Like the video, we do these daily, literally. And just to teach myself, basically. It's basically learning in public, building in public. And I've been literally teaching myself using AI tools. Coding, different concepts, what things do, why do them. You can literally learn using AI. Alright? So let me take a look here. Alright, so what I was asking AI actually for this portion basically is definitely for the pricing portion, right? Because we're thinking about a model of basically charging per shop, right? Being competitive, but also being right underneath those different things and offering more, right? So let's take a look here. Most successful platforms, they use a user level pricing with shop limits. Okay, so basically, say for instance, like a starter shop may be $9.99 or something like that, $29.99. I'm thinking basically to where they could have one shop and 10 products, right? And then they can go into a professional tier where they'll have 3 shops and unlimited products, and then have a like a enterprise section or a tier. I'm liking that. I like that, to where they could have an unlimited amount of shops, unlimited products in those shops, and then also have some advanced features. Now, what should those advanced features be? That's the question. That's what I'm thinking here. So, but that what that'll do, that'll encourage the growth, right? So let's see how we want to implement this thing. Okay, so we have our database. So what we're gonna have to do, especially with pricing and things like that, also, let me see here. Before I actually build it, what I'm trying to think of is how would I have it to where each shop owner basically connects to their own Stripe, right? So they can start receiving payments and things like that. All right, so let me see exactly how we would do that. Now, let's see here. And like I mentioned, what we're doing here, just to recap, we are literally building out a digital marketplace from scratch. Digital marketplace from scratch, to where digital creators could come in, start their own digital shop, and they could sell products, right? They could sell digital products, ebooks, They can have multiple shops, right, in different niches, right? Sky's is the limit. And you could do this as well, right? You could literally do the same exact thing using AI tools. I mean, it's definitely possible. If I could do it, you could do it, right? So let me see here. This is going to be the tricky part. The tricky part is going to be the schema. Let me see exactly the schema for the actual dashboard or the actual database, right? Because right now I don't have the database set up actually for payments or anything like that, so I might have to redo that or alter the tables and things like that. So let me actually get into this here. I wonder how. Let me see. Alright, so let me ask this again. And what I really like about AI tools, AI cannot tell you no. It's literally the best master coder in the world. It knows literally every language in the world just about. I mean, if it doesn't know, give it a few months, or even you could feed it code, really. If it's a language, and it's really rare, that'll be a rare case that it's something that it doesn't know. But you could feed it code and it'll literally know exactly how to code it, right? That's amazing. So the crazy thing is, you have a master coder in your pocket for free. For free. ChatGPT, you have a free plan. Claude, free plan. Google, free plan. All of these different free AI tools, you literally have access to, and you can build anything. Now there are also things that are Claude, even it'll build out the entire website, right? You can integrate it directly into VS Code through their CLI, and it'll literally build out the entire thing. Give the schema. So what I want to do, I want to export this schema here. Okay, give me 1 minute. Looks like my dog is tripping here. Somebody is at the door. Give me a minute. Alright guys, so we're back. We're building this digital marketplace here. There we go. Alright, so let me get back into it here. So what we are doing now. Alright, so we have our digital marketplace so far. And what we are wanting to do is actually add in the pricing, right? Which I'll have to eventually, I'm gonna have to do some market research on seeing exactly what the market is looking for as far as digital marketplaces, pricing wise and things like that. But right now, the full back end and things like that is all set up. Shops, you can come in here, create your own shop, and start literally selling and earning from your own digital products. All right, so let me take a look here. So this schema here that we need to build out here, let me actually get back into, because I'm going to have to update this database. All right, let's see here. Okay, and then I'm gonna have to update the shop creation flow. Okay, registration as well, but everything's gonna stem from this database. All right, so let me do this. All right. Can I export my, so what I want to do is export pretty much my current schema that I have from my databases. Database schema, SQL schema. All names and labels. And what I'm gonna do also, so I also want it to where users can connect the shops to their Stripe, right? All plans to my Stripe, all right? Okay. And like I mentioned, the best thing about the AI, right? You can literally ask it pretty much any question you could think of, right? If you don't know something, you could literally ask it, and it will literally tell you. And you could ask it over and over, right? you could literally ask it if you don't understand something, it'll tell you. It'll tell you to break it down in the simplest possible way until you do understand it. Alright, so let me take a look here. Here we go. Okay. Alright. Okay, so what I want to do is export the schema, right, of the database. I don't need the data actually. I just need the actual layout. So what I want to do with that is feed it back into AI, and then it could have everything correct. Basically, I want the whole thing correct. All right. I don't need labelings off, any of that. All right. So I'm gonna come here. Let's put this here. Ah, there we go. That's not even going to work there. All right. So what we need to do? Would I put the since I'm using PHP my admin, right? Alright. Okay, so I could export it just straight from here, okay. Perfect, here we go. Alright, so we're gonna export the schema. Alright. Alright, there we go. That easy. And we're gonna open this up. Alright. And it shouldn't have any, it does have data in there. Okay, which is fine for now, really. Since it's literally all just a test. So what we're gonna do basically, we're gonna upload this back into AI, right? And then using that, I wonder if I could actually get it. Okay, because what I want to do, I don't want the data to show really, right? We literally just need the actual layout of everything. All right, so let's export that. Okay, so what we're doing, we're feeding this back into AI, and it's gonna give me a new layout basically, so we could get our new tables to start to include pricing, right? All right, so I'm gonna go back over to Claude. We're gonna import that, and then we'll start to actually continue to build. And like I mentioned, AI is literally closing a lot of gaps, really, for people, right? It's giving people opportunities where they didn't have those opportunities. Here is my current database schema without data. Okay. Okay, I like those tiers. Okay, but pricing. Okay, I want to change pricing, right? Be probably like $39 for the basic, right? I'm gonna do probably like I'm gonna do like a 39, then I'm gonna do a 59 for a higher tier, and then we're gonna add in an enterprise tier. And all right, okay, all right. So we have our schema here. That's the full schema of all of our tables that we currently have. We're gonna update the database. All right, so we need to update the database now that we're starting to add in pricing. So I'm gonna go back in there and we're gonna update literally everything. All right. Okay, let's see here. Let me check here. There we go. All right. Because pretty much like once you give AI basically eyes into what you're doing, right? You can literally upload your file. It's the best debugger, right? It'll literally debug your entire file, tell you exactly what's wrong, what you did wrong, what you need to fix, right? It's perfect. Okay. So it's literally giving me right now, it's giving me the entire schema here. So let's see here. I'm gonna take this new layout here. We're gonna go back into our database and we're gonna update the database. All right. Here, I'm gonna put in this command. Look at this. All of this whole entire command was literally created by AI, right? It literally knows every language and knows exactly what you need it to do or what it needs to do, right? Once you tell it what you want to do, right? And watch this. Literally, look at that. Everything is now updated. It's even added here. Let's go back here. It's even added in our new tables, right? Perfect. All right, so we have our new tables. There we go. Alright, so let's get back to it. So we now have our database updated. Make sure everything is still functioning perfectly. There we go. Well, all we did basically was created a few new tables. Let me refresh this. There we go, and we can see everything here. So what we're doing, we're setting up our pricing. I'm gonna get it basically as well to where we could let shop owners integrate it with their Stripe, right? So they could come in, set up a shop very nicely. I'll have different tiers, and then they could actually start to build out everything. So now let's actually update the actual home page, right? All right. So right now our home page looks here. This is our current home page for the actual marketplace. Yesterday we created our forms, but now we're about to update this even more. All right. So I already have the actual code for it. Let's just get right into it here. And if you like this type of content, like I mentioned, we do these daily, right? I'm literally teaching myself coding all from scratch using AI, right? All right, so let's save that. If you see this message, that means everything was perfectly generated. And now let's actually take a look into our new home page, which should be updated. All right, so now we have pricing added into the navigation, and we have our different tiers. Okay, now I don't like how that's set up really like that. I'm gonna change that up here. All right, I want it to just have 3 across here. There we go. Okay, let's actually get that to be changed. To be 3 across. All fit horizontally. So we literally are using AI to build out our tools. All of our websites, all of our SaaSes, you can literally do the exact same thing, right? We've built out this full SaaS. So far, we are coming together perfectly, right? Perfectly. All right, so what I'm doing now, I'm just regenerating the home page so our table fits properly. All right, so everything should be good now. One of the main reasons I started to use Claude is I started off coding, learning and everything using ChatGPT, which is still great, right? I end up still buying ChatGPT, but what I started to like Claude for is that Claude will literally code your entire project. Like, as you can see, it coded 800 lines just about in one go. It would take some serious prompting for me to get ChatGPT to do that same thing. All right, look at that. Now we're putting the whole SaaS together. Now this is coming together perfectly. All right. Few things are off a little bit as far as alignment. I'll definitely get that squared away. But this thing is definitely starting to look and feel like a actual digital SaaS or digital marketplace, right? So this is time laying it out. Basically $39 a month. A user could come in here, open up a shop, and they'll be able to upload 25 products. They'll have 2 gigabytes of storage, right? Standard support. I mean, this is perfect. $59, they'll have 1 shop, unlimited products, right? And so they start to basically have features added to them, right? More and more features, which is more than perfect. This is really perfect. How it works, everything is perfectly coming together. So everything still works here. I'll show you the dashboard here that we built. So we have test 4. And literally built this entire thing from scratch. Literally from an ideal. And it doesn't even have to be your ideal. How did I come up with that idea? I literally asked AI for that idea. Literally. And I said, damn, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. Alright, so now we have our actual shops here. They can come in here and they could have multiple shops. And right now it's just being able to create the shops just like this, right? For now. I'm gonna actually update it even more, right? To where now they'll be able to, I'm thinking of a few different ways actually. Right, I'm trying to see which would be better, right? Like once they get to this enterprise plan, maybe give them more than one shop, or just give them more space to add to that shop, right? And then they'll be able to purchase more and more shops, which is also a great idea. I like that idea really. All right, so and let me take a look. Let me make sure all of this should all start going into the registration. All right. And now the cycle, basically the actual user cycle, is starting to feel more and more complete as we're coming along here, right? Like literally could come in here and upload this and pretty soon have the whole SaaS and have this entire business up and running, right? It's literally building an entire business using AI. I mean, what could do that, right? You could do it as well. And if you like this type of content, definitely be sure to subscribe, like the video, you know, comment below what you're building, right? What kind of thoughts and ideas do you like building? But this is exactly what we're doing. And this is just one thing. We're doing these daily. All right. So let me take a look here. Here we go. So the pricing section is still good. I mean, it's still a little off. I'll be able to feed it back in and we'll update it there. All right, but for now, that is definitely feeling and looking good, right? All right. Let's see here. Home page, or should we move on? Okay, update home page in action. All right, so let's build out the shop browsing page. Then let's work on, and then the beautiful thing about it is that basically putting together a simple project or a simple version of the project to get it launched, right? We could always do updates and upgrades and things like that, but if we can get the full thing up running, working, right? That's the whole thing, and functioning, looking good, launching, and then we could go from there. All right, so let's go here and let's work on getting the payments basically for subscriptions and for the shop owners. And building the, and a great thing about AI, like I always say, the great thing about AI is that it cannot tell you no. Getting out the home page. All right. Okay, so now we got everything up. Man, I mean, this is really looking good, right? So pretty soon we're gonna be getting the domain. We're gonna be uploading this thing, and it'll be live, man. I mean, that's literally the full process. Literally. I mean, it's not a figuratively thing. It's just literally happening. So now we're gonna be building out this portion. Now we're gonna be building this portion out. Okay, so right now we're getting the browse shop page built. That's being built literally as we speak. Alright, so we have our dashboard here again, like I mentioned, and then we'll have the, see that again, that's not even going to the marketplace, so we'll change this route as well. Right now, as you can see, it's just going directly back to the root page. and we'll change that. That's nothing. All right, so we have our template here, and then we're gonna finish, we're gonna actually build out that route. All right, so let's go here, and all right, so this will be the browse page template. Let me see how I want to set this up. The shop browsing page, let me see here. How is it exported? Okay. And why is it creating? Okay. Alright. Shop browsing page that integrates with the existing database and shop classes. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. Okay. Okay. You will need to add the method to the shop here. Add this to the class. And I already have the shop class. That's perfect here. Now create the, I'm gonna save this as views templates shop browsing page. All right. Okay. Okay. And literally AI will tell you what to do. It's literally giving me a walkthrough step by step on what I'm doing. But the way I've prompted it, I've prompted to tell me why I do certain things, right? So I don't just do them. I know why I'm doing them so we can repeat those steps in the future, right? Alright, so what I'm gonna do here, the main thing is creating this next page here. Alright, the next page here, let's go ahead and create that now. Okay, and this will be shop browsing template. Okay. Then we'll update the class, then we'll update the server, and then the home page template. Okay. With the pricing enabled home page template. Okay. And then we'll test everything. Okay. All right. So let's get the shop page here. Actually, I have two, looks like. Let me see. Shop browsing page 1. Shop browsing page there. Okay. Alright. So here. So now we're going to create and update this new page here. And then we're going to import that. Alright. So that's shop browsing page. I'm not sure if we made that route here. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Something is not right here. Generate home page, require. Oh, it's working. So I'm gonna just leave it for now. Okay. Alright, so now let's update the server. Alright, so what we want to do, we want to come in here and create our variable for the server here. And that's really the import. Alright, so we're going to import this home page. Just do it this way. Generate browsing page. There we go. And here we're going to require, and then we're going to set the route, the path to the actual template. All right. Now that template is actually in views. From there it's in templates. And from there we'll have the shop browsing template. Alright. Now I already had a route. Let's make sure. Let me see if that's actually set perfectly. This was our route here. Okay, so we're going to update this now. So we're updating the server. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look. And what I like about AI, like I mentioned, it cannot tell you no. And also, it will always, I mean pretty much always help you. Alright. Alright. So now we're updating our browse shops path. Alright, or our route actually. So what I like to do, I'm gonna comment our previous route out. I don't like to delete them because since I'm learning, I like to keep them so we can know where we have been while we're moving forward. Alright, so this will be the new route here. Alright, so we already have the import statement done, or our requirement. And we're going to create this route here. That'll be browse, and that'll be shops. Then since we're having the database, this is all pulling from the database, we're going to use our async and await, and we're going to have a request response there, and then we're going to create our arrow function. Then we're going to put our try statement, and then we'll have the catch for the error. Now let's set up a few variables. Alright, here. Hit the insert. There we go. And this will be query and then search. Alright, and here. Then we're gonna do a get user authentication information. Alright. And we're gonna set a few variables here. Is logged in.
This is the story of the one.
Oh, we have a perfect ad from our music. Don't we love them? Luckily, they keep them short. And we'll be back. There we go. Alright. There we go. Alright, so let's get back to it. So we have our user ID. Perfect. See if we can make it also through this portion without any typos. As we know, at least from my experience, typos has been a different learning path for me. It's like forced learning. Alright, username. And we're gonna do null here. There we go. Semicolon, there we go. Alright, and then we're gonna log that out. And literally, AI will literally teach you everything you need to know. I mean, it's the best coder, master coder, and you have it in your back pocket, right? Or your front pocket, wherever you put your phone, you literally have the best coder in the world right along with you, right? All you need is a little internet, and you could literally start coding today. I started off coding just simple pages, man. Simple pages, right? simple. And then it started to go to different landing pages. Then I started doing work for other people. And after that, man, I started saying, man, I could build my own company pretty much. You could literally build your own company. A lot of multi-million-dollar companies are just web-based companies, right? Netflix, Amazon, right? Even though it's built to some massive now, it was literally just a web-based company, right? Jeff Bezos saw that online search was about to explode, right? When he first launched, and then he said books, right? He started with books because there are literally a limitless amount of titles. He said this is perfect, man. So he caught that edge at the perfect time. And this is the perfect edge. This is a whole nother edge, right? It's a perfect time. You can start learning. You can learn right along with me. Very easy. All you need is a free version of ChatGPT and a little desire to want to learn, right? Alright, and that should be get all shops, okay. And then we're gonna log that. Console.log, and then we're gonna do our backticks. Found. And here I want to do shops, and this will basically be pulling up all of the shops, right? It'll let basically users, right, that's not shop owners, they'll be able to come in and actually browse all of the digital shop and marketplaces in the marketplace, right? So we're literally building out a literal digital marketplace, right? Literally. It's not a all from scratch, right? It's all started with an ideal. And the ideal doesn't even have to be your own ideal. It could be a ChatGPT ideal. You can go into ChatGPT and ask it, hey, give me 30 ideas, right, on something I could build, right? Depending on your skill level, it'll definitely give you those, right? And you start your learning there. That's exactly what I did. I was paying for all of these different tools, and I said, wait a minute, man. I wish I could remember the actual time I realized literally all websites are code, right? I mean, that's a basic realization. But literally all websites are code. All things really online are code, and they all come down to that code in front end, back end, APIs, and databases. And then the big thing is designing those different things to handle millions of users, right? That's the next portion, right? But it's a lot I'll have to learn before I start getting into that architecture of that, right? Or is it, right? With AI, you could learn faster, right? You could literally learn. I mean, it's crazy how fast you could learn, man. You could learn so much faster than before. All right, so we're gonna go filtered shops. And if you like this type of content, definitely be sure to subscribe. I'm literally doing these daily, right? I'm literally teaching myself live, right? I'm literally coding using AI, and I'm doing it live. Why? Because it's fun. Yeah, it literally is. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bust that down there, and then we're gonna go here, shop name. Alright, and then we're gonna go includes, let's see, okay. And what I start seeing as well, a lot of the learning comes, right? You could get to, I chose to pretty much type a lot of the things that AI was giving me out, but the way I did it and prompted AI was to teach me as I'm coding, right? I was tired of doing the basics, right? I don't want to just do right? Just okay, here's some variables. Okay, this is functions. Okay, right? How to add 2 plus 2 with operators. Oh, that's so fun. No, it's not, but it's essential for you to know those things, right? It's like trying to go to high school before you pass preschool, right? You can't do that. But what I decided, or what I learned actually along the way, is that you don't have to stay in preschool too long, right? With AI, you could literally go from knowing completely nothing to knowing a lot, right? In a fraction of the time. And if you know how to prompt, that's really what it came down to for me. Just prompting, right? Prompt engineering, learning how to prompt, and that's why I ended up even learning the code in the first place. Just so I could prompt better, right? I started building websites. I started coding different things. And I said, man, how do I do this, right? How do I build for instance, a email template? I remember I was building an email list one day, and I wanted to add in custom email, right? Or custom HTML to my email, right? Of course, I had an email builder at that time. I'm like, man, how the hell do I do this? I started realizing, wait a minute, just ask ChatGPT. Just ask it, right? And I did. I asked ChatGPT, it told me, and I was like, oh shit. Oh my god, I could do this shit right here. I don't need any of these tools. I could literally build them, right? You could literally build your own tools. You could build your own programs, software, everything. And that was the kicker for me, right? So after that day, I decided to start doing some type of coding on a daily basis, right? It's days I finished doing what I'm doing for the day. I'm pretty much worn out, and I'm like, dude, I need to get in there and code something, right? Or I need to watch something, either or a book or anything dealing with coding, system design, right? And it starts to pay off, right? It'll definitely start paying off. So we have our if statement here. Next, we're going to set up. All right. Next, I want to actually generate. And another way I prompted it. See how I'm giving all of the actual comments basically, right? I told it, man, tell me why I'm doing this. Why am I setting it up this way, right? Give me comments on each section, right? These are the same prompts you could use to help you start literally today, right? And it doesn't have to be complicated at all. And make it fun. And the way I decided to make it fun for myself, learning this stuff, because I mean, you have a limitless amount of syntax. I mean, the syntax part is one thing to kind of understand, you know, the architecture of everything. It's a completely different thing when you want to put whatever you're thinking in code, right? Completely different. Then you get to putting it in code and start seeing you have latency and different things. You have 100 milliseconds of delay here and 100. I was building an AI tool, for instance, right? I was like, man, I'm seeing all of these different AI models, right? I started to look up open source models. Like, I don't even need to pay for certain AI tools, right? So I said, let me build my own, or use an open source. That's what I did, right? I kind of took an open source or several open source tools, start to piece them together, and I started having so much latency, man. It was crazy. I'm talking about 5-10 minutes for a response, right? And I was like, oh shit. That's when I realized, I said, man, paying for ChatGPT, paying for Claude, paying for all of these different tools, I mean, I willingly gave Claude my money, right? I was so happy. I was using a free version, and it was kicking out so much, man. I mean, so much, right? I said, oh man, I have to give them my money, right? because it's priceless. You literally are paying for a super brain. A super brain, man, right? I gladly have paid $20 for a super brain. It's like 1,000 Einsteins, right? Whoever the best coder is in the world, it's 1,000 of them in your pocket. So when I started to think of it that way, right, I started to teach my parents, I started to teach my nephews and my other family members, man. I said, man, this is phenomenal. Look at this. Look what I can do. Look at all of this shit I'm building. Right? And what happens? What happens when you do that with anything that you want to do? Right? They're like, oh, that's nice. Now let's go watch TV. Let's go turn on the ball game, right? Let's go play this game, right? I'm like, shit, why the fuck? Why do I want to play a game when I could literally go build a game, right? You can go learn to build a game. You could literally learn this stuff, right? And it's all in your back pocket for free, right? So I started to see, I said, damn, man, we take a lot of stuff for granted, man. We take a lot of stuff for granted, man. We are literally in one of the best times to be alive right now, right? Right now. We are literally living in the future right now, right? It's not later, right? You don't even have to wait. You could literally code up a page in 10 seconds. You tell me, when has there ever been a time you could do that with no experience, right? Without knowing anything, right? So I started to use these different tools. I started to learn. And don't get on video, right? Don't get on creating video and the things you could do with pictures and all of this, man. It's ridiculous, man. It's literally ridiculous on the amount of stuff that's possible that you could do right now, man. Like literally, it blows my mind. It blows my damn mind every day I wake up. No matter how tired I didn't want to get on here even a day. I was done so much today. I went to the gym not too long ago. Worked out. Was tired. Took a shower. I'm like, shit, I'm done for the day. And I said, hell no, you're not. You want to learn coding, right? You want to actually learn this stuff, man. And that's the actual stuff that it takes, right? And it doesn't take much, right? That's another thing. That's a misconception, right? Work smarter, not harder, right? But what if you work smarter and harder? Then you got a hack. You work smarter and harder, right? You got something major, right? You're like, oh man, I don't need to work 8 hours a day with AI now. But say if you do work 8 hours a day with AI, think about that. Think about how much more stuff you get done then. And those are the kind of things I started to reflect on. That's what I started to think about. I'm like, oh man, you right, shit. You right. So it got to a point I couldn't even sleep because I was ready to get the hell up and start coding. And start learning something. Right? Once I realized everything is code, man, it really hit me when I started to get into like I was going into like encryption basically encrypting different things, right? Messages or passwords and things like that. And I started to see that literally with a program or a piece of ware, an install package, you could literally encrypt different things. And you don't even have to understand it, right? You just need to follow the steps, right? Just follow the steps. And that's what we're doing every day, all right? Every single day. So here, what we're doing here, we're just loading up. This is our browse page, right? To where all of the shops within the marketplace will be on one page, right? So we have here, shops there, all right. And we're just building out the whole route right here. Okay, and we got that. And I believe in and that's our catch statement. So that entire route is perfect. I have a few errors, and we'll fix those errors. I'm sure some slight typos that we have. Okay. Now I have a search shop as well. I'm thinking I may hold off on that part. Let me see. Matter of fact, let's add it. Let's go ahead and add it, right? But that's optional. It's an optional thing, I'm thinking. Yeah, let's go ahead and add that. That'll be basically where they could come in and search, a search function basically, where they can come in, type in whatever they want to see, and it'll pop up their shop or, you know, some type of thing. So I'm gonna put here optional, but we're gonna add it. So basically, I started to learn like a big thing for some reason that was getting to me was like APIs, right? Setting up my own API, right? I was like, shit, for some reason I just had a bit complex on that. Like, man, that seems so damn complicated. And so I said, okay, I was putting it off for a while, right? I started to use APIs. I started using Claude APIs, ChatGPT, Google. And I said, man, I really want to learn how to build my own API, right? And how to structure them, things like that, what they mean and all of this. How is that? How can I learn that? So I asked ChatGPT. And it told me, no problem. No problem. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is going to be async, so everything is pulling like I mentioned, from the database. I'm going to set up the request and response, and then our arrow function with our try statement. Okay. Alright, here we go, try. And we're going to set up our variables here, of course, first. And also what I started to realize too is that a lot of the, even languages, right? Even a language may change, but the actual concepts don't, right? It's just like some fundamental concepts that you really need to understand, right? To start to understand, and now those concepts go across any language, right? Doesn't matter the language. Then you could build anything, right? And a lot of the different frameworks, for instance, like JavaScript and like JavaScript has tons of packages. You got Vue, Nux.js, Next.js, Angular. You have all these different frameworks, right? But they all build on JavaScript. Right, so I said, let me find some projects that I want to build that use JavaScript, right? So then as I started to see JavaScript, I started to see that JavaScript needed to, or also works on the back end, right? Right, how you start to build those APIs and things like that. And that's where you get Node. And Node, I started off with Python, but once I got into Node, I started to say, oh my God, this stuff is powerful, man. You can literally build out, like for instance for me, I'm just building out, all sites break down to what, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, right? Pretty much, right? Everything, all websites, all web pages, that's what they are going to break down to. So what I decided to do was start to learn those fundamentals, right? And I personally, I learned best when I could kind of see an entire map, right? I like to see everything that's possible pretty much, right? Don't just, like I mentioned earlier, is that it's good that you of course you have to learn variables. You want to learn your operations and operators and things like that. And that's cool. And I still go back to those kind of lessons, right? But I quickly want to move away from those lessons, right? Because they like bore me, man. I get so bored. I'm like, shit, I'm ready to start building stuff, right? I don't want to put in console 2+2, right? What the hell is that gonna do? What it does though is teaches you, the basics, right? You start seeing what's possible. How do you do DOM manipulation, for instance? That was another thing, DOM manipulation. I said, oh man, what the hell is this? How does this work? So I started to get deeper into that, right? And with AI, you could learn anything. You could literally learn any and every language you could think of. And the way I look at it, especially when it comes to syntax, well, I mean, things like that, because the syntax changes depending on the language, of course, right? But what doesn't change are the concepts, right? So learning concepts to me is something that was more important, right? If I could learn the concepts, right? And then I could use, especially with the help of AI, you have the best coding teacher of all times in your pocket. Literally. And a beautiful thing about it is that it'll never tell you no. It'll never say, oh man, that's a dumbass question, why'd you ask this again? It'll never say that, right? It'll say, oh man, let me break it down further for you so you could really understand. You could ask it 20 times. Literally, it's been things and concepts I've asked it over and over. I'm like, man, I do not get it. Like, what are you talking about? It'll say, oh, no problem, man. Let me give you this analogy for it, right? I said, man, like I said, I had to give him my money. I had to. I wanted to, right? Because it's like, where else can you go get a super brainiac coder, right? If you look up right now how much it costs to code out a project, right? You look that up. How much does it cost to literally code up a project? Matter of fact, I actually read, right? I read this guy had actually paid to have he was in a medical field, right? So he ended up paying like $300,000 of his own money to have a application developed that he was going to shop around to physicians to use. And you know what happened? After paying the $300,000 of his own money, none of the physicians used it. I said, oh shit, man. Oh man, I couldn't imagine. I think, could you imagine? First of all, who has $300,000 to waste? Raise your hand if you if you have three. Matter of fact, give me $300,000 right now, and if you want to waste it, all right? He didn't do any market research. He didn't do anything. He just went and paid to have this app developed. But that's the kind of money that's being generated, man, off of creating this stuff, right? This is a super skill, right? It's not just a skill, it's a super skill, right? Literally. All right, so we have our try, we have our variable set up here. Let me see here. And what we're doing, we're creating this optional API. I mean, it was optional. It was optional until I created it, right? Until we started working on it, but it was optional basically to create this search function, all right? To where users will be able to come in and actually search the marketplace, right? They could actually search for the different stores. So anyway, this guy paid all of that money. And I was like, man, dude, I can't imagine wasting. I've wasted some money on getting things coded, right? 10,000 or something, but not $300,000, man. Right? And then think about it on the other end, right? you could be the one getting $300,000 to code something, right? And with AI, it's no excuses, right? And it's more than possible, right? Somebody comes to you and say, hey man, I want to develop a tool, right? A form of some sort, right? It's only so many things that these things do. I want to develop this, right? They could pay you $100,000 right now, all right? What would that do for you? All right? That'll do a hell of a lot. That'll change your life. So this is a life-changing skill, all right? That's the way I look at it. The job market is wide open for coders as well. You could change careers, right? You can start building out your own portfolio of different things you've built. I mean, that's perfect, man. That's what it's about to me, right? That's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it, right? It's just wonderful, right? The gap is closing, right? The gap is closing between what was possible and what is possible, right? There's no excuse. You can literally code anything you want. All you need is an ideal, all right? And an ideal is a prompt away. Literally a prompt away. You can literally have your top next SaaS idea right now. Just ask. With this project that we're building here, this digital marketplace, which to me, I was like, man, that's a good ass idea. It came from ChatGPT. The whole idea. I was fishing for ideas, going through different things. Right, it gave me I started with 30 ideas, right? I'm like, man, let me take a look. Let's see. I went through the different ideas, and I was like, and I wanted to build something for sure that I would use, all right, and something that was useful, all right. So I'm going through these different ideas. I'm like, man, I don't like that one. I don't like that one. All right, I was just going through a bunch. I ended up prompting it 4 times till I found something that I liked, all right. Now, what's the benefit of that? The benefit of that is that if you code something that you like, whether you know how to code it or not, all right, you're going to code it because you're interested in it, all right? Once you are interested, shit, you could do anything, all right? Once you could pique your own interest, all right? Once you see what you're interested in, whatever niche you're in, I have friends that's fitness gurus, right? Fitness gurus. They wanted to start making their own mobile app, right? They have all these clients, and they're like, man, I don't need a code. I want a code, but blah blah blah. I say, man, just pick up your damn phone and ask ChatGPT, right? Next thing you know, he's excited as hell, right, to show me his new mobile fitness app, right? He has videos on there and everything, and now he's making $15,000 a month off of it, right? With his clients, $15,000 a month, right? Didn't even know how to code. I said, dude, that's it. That's the way. That's literally the way. I don't know no other way except that, right? So that's the beautiful thing about it, right? AI can't tell you no. It's gonna definitely help you in every way possible as long as you know how to prompt. Alright. And I still have one error. I'm sure I'm missing probably a comma somewhere or some sort. And now here we're gonna set up our last catch statement here. But with AI, everything is possible, alright? Everything. I mean, it's so possible. And also, if you like this type of content, if you're also wanting to learn and things like that, I'm literally on here daily. Right? I'm making a time or a way or some time in my day to learn coding. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and be sure to stay tuned. But more importantly, start learning, man. Start building. right? If you need help, I'm gonna chat away, right? If you need to know how to use these different tools, how to prompt, right? I'll let you know what I know, alright? There's no secrets. I'll let you know what I know. But that's the beautiful thing about it, right? The door is wide open with these different models. All of these models are out here to help you, right? They're closing gaps, man. They're closing gaps. They're making things possible. They're making millionaires out here. Literally, not figuratively. Alright, it used to be hard to make apps, alright? Now the hard part is trying to come up with a good app, alright? And here, error. And then we're gonna go here. We'll go fail to search shops, alright? And this should be completed here. I'll have this one error we need to figure out here. Okay, then I'll upload the class. I need to add a method there, but let me see where this error. I have two errors here. Trailing comma not allowed. Let's see what that is here. Looks like I have those two. Those two need to change, probably the semicolons. Okay. Yeah. Okay. See, one typo will change everything, right? And here. And their errors are gone. Let's save in our terminal here. Should reflect our daily save here. Alright. Alright, so now what I want to do, got a few things here. We have our shop page here. That's perfect. The main thing is the class here. Let's go into the shop class. We want to update this. Okay. So what I want to do here, let me see how we want to do this. Alright, this is what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use AI here. Use AI, of course. We're going to actually use this to update our shop class here. Alright, so all you do, right, even if you have a project, if you know some coding, AI is literally the master of debugging, right? It knows literally every programming language on earth. That's the way I look at it. It knows all languages, man. Alright, so you could come in here and add in your file, right? And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add in my shop file and tell it to give me the updated shop JavaScript file. Okay. And then it'll actually start building it up. Alright, so it's now doing that here. Let's make sure. Alright. And so what that's doing is updating everything to include our find and search, basically. Our search that we're having here. And let's see, make sure our page is loading as well. This should also reflect. There we go. We got an error. Something is going wrong. Probably a typo again. Let's go into it. Okay, so we have our shop browsing template. Okay. That'll be shop browsing page. Let's make sure here. So we have the shop browsing page. Let's see here. And then tomorrow what I'll do here, is start to incorporate the stripe section. Let me see here. Okay. Alright, so we have our updated class, our shop class. Let's go ahead and just go ahead and get that in there. Alright, so that portion is loading perfectly. And let's see, we'll get everything working. Okay. So I'm getting an error, looks like, on the browsing page. Let me go ahead and quickly get that in here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna update it with my, let me add the server page here, and then I'm gonna actually add the, not the class, but the template. All right, shop browsing template. All right, and then you just tell it the error, right? And it'll know exactly what to do. All right, you can take a screenshot. That's what I do. I just take a screenshot of this, and then we upload that right back into the AI, and it's gonna literally tell me. Alright, so I want this page to load here. Of course, we have the home page. Everything there is loading. Our sign-ins, marketplace. This isn't working though. Okay, I have some typos here. Okay, replace your browsing route with the correct version. Okay, so I obviously jacked up my entire. Okay, here we go. Okay, looks like we do have those typos. Let's go ahead and fix those. Typos are always fun. Yeah, typos are always fun. So let me go here. So for one, I have this portion wrong here. Usernamer. That shouldn't be there like that. Alright. Okay. And like I mentioned, the actual debugging is where I started to learn a different thing actually. Right? You start to see like, oh man, this, I mean, syntax is so important, right? You could literally put a period in the wrong place or a comma in the wrong place and jack up your entire page, right? Everything could just be broken, right? Okay, and I have another error. Let's see if I can find it here. Shouldn't be far. Here we go. See, stuff like this will mess up your entire, I mean literally, like that's the funniest thing to me for some reason. It's like you can miss one letter and be screwed. And if you don't have, to me, if you don't have AI, I mean, you can go in there and, man, because you obviously see that it didn't show me any problems here. All right, didn't show any problems there, but you'll be screwed sitting there searching for it. Like, what the hell did I do wrong? I have another error, looks like here. And the beautiful thing, like I mentioned about AI, man, is that it can't say no. It won't say no, right? And if you learn some simple prompts, right? I mean, you could prompt and find out some great stuff. And like, again, like I mentioned, if you like this type of content, if you're liking me, if you like myself and like learning about coding and all of these different languages and things like that, I'm literally programming as I'm learning. Be sure to like the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the video, because we are definitely doing these on a daily basis. I mean, it's one of the best things I've decided to do. And you could do it as well, right? It's literally something you could do. I have my nephew now, right? Nephew, I had him here this weekend, man, and it was really interesting to see a little 8-year-old, right? Interested in coding, right? Just think about where in the hell you would be if you learned to code at 8 years old, right? You'd be like, oh my God, right? You'd be a way further, right? But guess what? It's not too late. It is definitely not too late to learn. That's the beautiful thing about it, right? You could literally start now. And the best thing is that you have a master coder in your back pocket, man. Literally. In your back pocket right now. Free. Right? All you got to do is get to prompting, right? Alright, so I'm missing closing parentheses on the search API route. Let's see what that is here. Okay, search API route. Let's see where that is. I don't see it. Let me see. And the funny thing about it is that once you start to code, you're gonna literally want to keep coding. Right? There'll be times when I'm like trying to make myself go to sleep, right? Because I'm like, shit, I need to go to sleep, man. But I'm also like, man, I want to program some stuff. I want to actually program some stuff, man. I want to code up something that's working, right? And that's the beautiful thing about it, right? You can actually do that, man. It's literally something you can do immediately. And debugging and all of this type of stuff, man, is where you start to learn other types of skills, other types of things, right? Especially when it doesn't show any problems, right? It's a whole different era. Let me see if this thing is working properly, though. We should have it. Again, let's go back. And again, like I mentioned, what we are building is a digital marketplace from scratch. This is completely done from scratch. Nothing. I mean, it's not an actual website builder or nothing. Literally all from scratch, man, using AI. Just with an idea. And we have just about got the pretty much the whole user.
With YouTube Music
See
Premium,
stuff like this here. This is when you start to. I need to fix that. That's just
even
real
here
minor.
offline or on the
Thinking
go.
also I'm gonna add like an
Discover
AI
new
chat bot
artists
as well on
and
here.
podcasts
Alright, some
and
kind of
create
type of thing where they can
personalized
come in here and
playlists
ask questions or
anytime,
have that
anywhere.
ability to do
Try
so.
1 month free.
But it's a digital marketplace, right? Where creators can come in, start themselves a digital store, and they could actually start to sell items, right? Been very fun putting this together, man. This has literally incorporated everything that I've learned so far. And I've learned a lot on this project, actually. Not gonna lie, right? Even using AI, right? AI has taught me so much, man. But it's been fun. I'm starting to see how all of these different pieces connect, right? From front end, we've put our back end together, databases, APIs, everything, man. And it's been a very super fun project to build. But so far what we are working on, let me see if this works. Oh, look at that. Oh my God, it works. It works. So these are showing basically all of the shops, man. And of course we'll be able to update the shop pages, but that's major right there, man. That's major. I'm really that makes me super happy. I'm over here cheesing. I'm over here cheesing, man. I'm cheesing up a storm because, man, to see something that you had from an idea, especially when it comes to code. Code is very intangible, right? When you're looking at letters and numbers and syntax and stuff like that, you don't see anything, man. I mean, this is literally it. And that entire project is literally made up right here in code, right? So it's really a different type of feeling when you literally get code, right? and words and syntax and all of this different stuff, right? I used to look at this like literally Chinese, like man, what is that, right? What is that? How in the world do you tell me that some words are gonna create a box on the screen, right? Right? I mean, that's my thought. I still think that, and that's why it makes me real happy, right? When I start seeing how back end and front end, right, and all of this type of stuff comes together, right? So we putting our back end SQL databases together, and what that's doing right now, I'll just show you here. So right now we have a total of 6 shops right now. These are all test shops, of course, right now. All test shops. But all of these test shops now, from users, they're now all showing live, right? And they can come in. The search function is working. Let's make sure. Oh, that's working perfectly, man. Let me see here. Look at that. That is working so good, man. I'm really proud. I'm really proud to see that working like that. So this has literally been a major come up. Oh, and now we have a great, perfect ad, looks like, from our music. All right, let's get back to it. There we go. There's a few more things I need to add, actually. But man, this is pretty much almost close to being able to go live, man. I mean, this is a whole business. This is literally a different type of business right here, and we've literally built out from scratch using AI a full-fledged business, man. I mean, it's operational. It's not in theory, right? It's fully functioning, right? Everything is working perfectly, right? Even this feature, I need to add the I see now I need to add that navigation up here, but we'll add that. Those are small additions here. The main thing was getting this function here to work, right? So now the function works. Let's see here. Everything is already sorted, right? Let's see here. I don't think our sort is working. That's okay. We'll be able to fix that here. A few things we need to fix in our classes anyway, and on the page as well. But man, this portion working, this page coming up, man, that's definitely been a major come up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wrap it up for today. That's been major progress as we've done. Just a recap, we've built out the marketplace for digital creators, and this will be soon live. This will be a full-fledged live site, live business, really soon, right? And it's something you could do as well, right? If you have an idea, right, any kind of online business, definitely stay tuned. I want to hear about it, definitely. But stay tuned. We can do this thing together. Start learning. But that'll be a wrap for tonight. Definitely. If you like this type of content, definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and be blessed. Be ready for the next showing. We'll be back again tomorrow. And get to coding. See you tomorrow.